So welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live show recorded for Ustream.tv and also recorded for YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. Apologies to people in Ustream, chat isn't working particularly well today. And also for YouTubers, it's not HD, so the quality isn't that good. But hopefully what's the content's going to make up for it. So this is my first little page that I've been playing with to colour, and I've made the little mushrooms they've got little doors and steps to them, and I thought they could have ivy and flowers and things. So I'm having a bit of a play, and I thought I'll photocopy it and colour it in. So so hopefully all my lights are back on. I did turn them off. That might be a bit better for light. And it's only a photocopy, so and I haven't coloured on a photocopy page for a long time, so we'll have to see. So I'm going to use my little book of watercolours, and I'm going to use the Caran D Ache Colour 2s because they're quite vibrant colours, and there's some really nice reds and russets and browns, and I think I'm going to kind of like that. Toadstool wise, Scarlet looks quite good, and ruby red, but I think Scarlet might be the best colour for the toadstool. So I'm going to do this one first. I don't think I'm going to try and do highlights and lowlights. I'm not sure if I want to keep the whites of the little dots. Not quite sure. So I thought I'd just have a play. Don't really like the way this is going with this brush. So I'm going to just try. It's a big space to cover, actually, isn't it? So, being that said, a big space to colour may involve original Neocolor 2s. So, I've dug out an old palette, and I think it's going to be very similar to the palettes. I'm just going to look for this. I know that's Elysian Crimson, so I'm wondering if it would scratch. Oh, it will do. Because it said that it's got a rough surface. They've brought out a palette for Neos, but it says it's got a rough surface, and I thought, well, I don't actually want to waste that much. I'm a bit of a tight Yorkshire lass. So I'm just going to put those two colours together and see what happens. So I keep mine in the Derwent art bag, and I keep a bit of photocopy paper tucked behind, so it keeps them all protected and it makes the colours pop. I think I've got them in colour order. I'm not sure if I've got them in numerical order, but I think they're in colour order. So I'm just going to have a bit of a play with this, because normally I like 50-50 Neocolor 2s for my colours, so you can get a stronger colour doing it that way. I was going to scribble on the photocopy paper, but I think this is going to be more enjoyable, and I think I want to go round everything. I think now I found with this Derwent #1 brush that if you activate the middle, you get more water, but if you kind of just try to stay on the end, you don't get as much water. Now, it's quite a nice colour, that, and I bet I can't remember what colours I used. I think I used Scarlet and this one. I'm pretty sure I used those two colours. Yep. So I've just made a puddle, and I'll keep going back to this puddle that I've made here, because I've mixed them together now. And if I stay dark on the outside and work my way in, that's going to give me kind of a bit of a natural highlight. Or work that way, it's going to give me, I'm not sure whether I want to kind of go over these. I might actually go over them with a dot, I think, with a white Posca pen or something. I think I might do that, because I don't want to wet the page too much, because it's a photocopy paper. So you can get a kind of a mottled colour. I don't think it would be just a dead flat colour. I think we would have maybe a bit of variation. Now this is going to buckle and it's going to bubble because it's a photocopy paper, and this is a wet brush. Oops. But I'm still playing with the design, so I didn't want to colour the original one. Now the other one is on sketchbook paper, and it's on a sea white sketchbook paper, so it probably would do quite well. The other thing you could do is to scratch directly on, but again this is a photocopy, so it's going to be different. Photocopy paper isn't normally quite as forgiving. And I've never done this before, so I think you need it dry rather than a wet area. So making the colour on this old plastic, but it's flat plastic, so I think another good thing would be to buy just a plain white chopping board, and I think that would do. I just happened to find this kicking about and thought, oh, that might be good. So it looks probably more like a lollipop at the moment, I think. I think it looks like a lollipop. I think that works quite well actually. I'm going to keep this in this little thing in. I'm going to keep in my shall I do them all? So you see, it's hasn't gone through, but it's bobbled because it's a photocopy paper. I just wanted to have a play with the colour. Oh, thank you. Yes, Suzanne said that Bristol vellum paper would be great for copies. Yeah, it's just I'm a tight Yorkshire lass. I do have some, but I'm a tight Yorkshire lass. And I hadn't actually thought about what I was doing, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to just scratch a bit of colour on here. I think I might actually quite fancy putting a little bit of something else on there as well. And this would be a good time to perhaps start making my own greens. And you can, I don't know if I like that colour. I think it wants to be paler. So if I wanted to make my own greens, I'd probably use this. It is actually technically a green, but it's a Chinese green, and a blue, and I think I might use that blue, so I'm going to have to clean the brush, and obviously you want more. Oh, that's a lovely green. You see, you get much nicer greens. That's almost like a hooker's green, and I thought I had a hooker's green, but there's something so much nicer to mixing your own colours. And I do have quite a lot on here, so but I'm going to do all the underleaves first. The undersides of the leaves, sorry, that's what I meant to say. So if I do all the leaves on the right hand, all the sides of the leaves, all the lower ones, and then as we go round, pick out underneath. See if I can zoom in a bit more without it going too kind of oof. So sketchbook paper would be really nice, but I don't think I've finished the design. So, and again, you can see, because I don't think I've ever done this before, so it's a learning curve. But if I pick all the lower ones, I can then lighten that green with some yellow, and it'll be the same green, but it'll be a highlight, so I've got a natural highlight. And I haven't had to remix a different colour, I've just got my... Actually, I think it's already there, look. Yeah, it's all I'm doing is just adding water to it. So when I first start, I've got the shadow one, and then I've got the highlight one. Now, you could do each leaf individually, and each segment, and you can have light and dark and things like that. But this was just a quick colour page. And so it's the same green, but it's just watered down, and yet it's giving me quite a nice little highlight. So I would possibly do this anyway. If it was a new colour book and I was a bit frightened, I always used to do this first anyway. Is to photocopy something and then have a play. And there isn't too much detail on this, it's quite a simple little page. So I kind of like those highlights. Now my colour's not looking quite as good as it should. It is a nicer colour than that. Apologies, just going to see if I can... Ustream is being a bad puppy today. The other thing you could do with these toadstools, another way to colour them, would be to just very carefully if you wanted that really vivid red, you could do this. And of course the minute you start, this is going to give you a a better, flatter colour. But remember, it's a number 1 derwent water brush, but it's still quite wet. You're not going to get a beautiful watercolour effect with a water brush like this. So it's made that quite red. And then this one's called Venetian Red. So I don't know if that's going to be a bit too red. I don't think so. Again, I should have my little... Oh, that's quite nice. So if I do this dark here, and there, this brush should manipulate that round quite nicely. So we're going to have a good amount on there. So when we bring that down, we will have that effect, that watercolour effect, if we can just get it without putting too much water down. And then next to it is English Red, but English Red is kind of a reddy brown. I kind of like that for the fronds. You know, some of these mushrooms are quite dark. Oh, is it cheap on Amazon? Oh, I'll have a look at that, Suzanne. Thank you. I'll have a look. I'll have a look. I know when I was studying miniatures, that's what they used. Vellum, well, vellum is baby sheep, isn't it? It's baby sheep. So we have to use a fake one, not a real one. And that's quite a nice dark green. And again, sometimes it's nice to make your own, but let's have a look. Oh, that's quite rich, that one. That's quite nice. Don't actually think that would be that colour. These might be dark green. Sorry about that. Whoopsie. So it is a bit small, this. I have a busy bee. Go away, busy bee. So you can't see these. My colours are not really good. I can't decide if it's the laptop that's dying or... but it's kind of a rich, deep green, is that so? I think I need a pale green for this. It was like a seagrass. And there isn't a background yet, so I haven't decided what kind of a background to do. And I always have to turn my page so it's comfortable. So put that into there. And then scratch a bit more colour in that one. Maybe the red ones look maybe better than a pinky red. And again, try to just activate the end. Yeah, I think I like that red better. So sometimes it's better to have a practice because I don't like that pinky red. Scarlet seems to be working quite well. So I like the scarlet colour better. Oh, thank you, Judy. You'll have to forgive me. The oopsie. The colours are a little bit off. So let's go for a bit of a purpley blue. Let's get some purples in there. Now I have unfortunately dropped some water on the photocopy paper, so it's not going to be perfect, but this is always the quickest and easiest way. Oopsie, sorry, I was in focus. And I'm probably going to put some stickle white back in there and Posca white, I think. I think so. That might look better. And then very quickly, I mean this isn't doing it very thingy. I would take probably a lot longer doing this one, but I just kind of like, and I like the purple, so I'm going to put this one at that end as well, because normally the tips are white. So sometimes you can follow colour perfectly, and sometimes you're not. You want to make them up. So colour is entirely up to whoever's colouring it. Sorry, there's a little waft from there. So apologies, Alfie's been his woofy self. And I think it kind of goes a bit dark now, so I'm going to put kind of a bit of a darker colour, and then I think that could be maybe an orange. Maybe could be orange in there. So we'll clean the brush. And again, this wouldn't react like this if it was paper. It's just this is cheap Tesco's thin photocopy paper, which is almost disintegrating, but not quite. So it's just to give a rough indication of what these look like coloured, and also to show me as well, because there's no point spending hours on a page for it to be completely useless as a colour page. Although I do like line drawings, so I'm happy I'm doing those again, but still. So I'm going to find an orange and just kind of just put a little bit in there. And it needs to be muted a little bit because, you know, even though butterflies are quite bright, sometimes the colours are a little bit muted down. And then we have this indigo, which seems to be one of my favourite colours, so I'm actually just going to do that because I really like indigo. It's a grey, but it's a warmish grey, so it's never just too much. So I think we might just put that over there. And I think the tips are white, but I think I'm going to take maybe that white off and make that kind of a... There is a little bit, oops, a little bit better colour in there. That's the wrong one. If I start that way, by the time I finish, I shall have enough on my brush to do that bit. And I like the tips of the wings. I think that looks okay. I want a bit more blue on that one. Again, it's a photocopy. You know, it goes through because it's a photocopy page. And I think I want the Van Dyke brown. I think she's a cold... Oh, sepia. Sepia is a cold kind of brown, and I like that coolish brown. So that's going to make those butterflies kind of... So I think we can have... This is like the peacock, so I better just have a quick look. There is the peacock butterfly. So we've got a yellow and a blue. Didn't think it was that colour, but hey ho, perhaps it was. And we have the red admiral. So that's the peacock. So we've got the pale blue, and we've got definitely got the reddy brown ready there. So I think we'll put that there. And then the sepia brown. Could have a bright yellow at one side. Oopsie. And a cool blue on the other side. sure the brush is clean. We go yellow first. Take some of that blue round. It's going to give me green, so that's not going to work very well. I have to do the yellow first. And then the blue. I think possibly brighter colours. Stay away to try to be too natural. It's not going to work because these are bright imaginary butterflies. They're not reality. And of course, the butterflies have got to be noticed. They do have to survive. So let me just have a look. And apologies to Ustream, it's being naughty today. I'm pretty sure it's my web provider being pants, but we'll have to see. I think we can just stand a bit of that orange. Just scratch a bit on that little pad. And we just put a bit of orange on there. Sometimes I think it's best to play with the colours of the butterflies rather than try to I think I did some monarchs before, so of course they're okay because they're really bright. So that's fine. So I'll just get some of this purpley blue in there. So thanks for stopping by, guys. Hope everybody's alright. Can't see chat very well, unfortunately. It's not working particularly well today, isn't chat? It's having a moment. So, oopsie, shouldn't have done that. That was silly. That was silly. Do like that darker colour there for. So they're not the brightest of colours. But the paper isn't doing the Caran D Ache colours justice, really. Normally when you play with those colours you get some really gorgeous vibrant colours. So we have a very noisy cat. I'm quite tempted to put that purple down there actually. I like the white, but I think I like the pale purple. I think that looks quite nice. Being a toned down version of it, it's made the wings kind of light.
Mum, do you want a bacon sandwich?
No, thank you, darling. So,
Dad, do you want a bacon sandwich?
right, right. So, trying to be soft. So a nice soft watercolour would look quite pretty because obviously the butterfly's wings are so delicate that they do kind of render that. Now, I'm not really happy with that red in there, so I'm going to make that that blue. It's just not doing the proper thing for me, so we get rid of it. So they're a little bit bright, are those? A bit bright. And oh, I've done that the wrong colour, the wrong red. I wanted the scarlet ones. So again, because this is a practice, I could put that in there and then have I want pink. I did want white, but because it's already, I thought I might do this. Let's see what happens. And I would have liked to have put that carmine in there, but it's not a near colour. It's an art pastel, so it's not where it's supposed to be. So we'll see what happens with these. I like them different colours, I think. Give them a bit of variation. That's a bit boring for me. I like the 3 colours, so there's sometimes putting a little bit of colour in is okay. But the photocopy paper is always difficult and uninspiring to work on, I have to say. They've got a bit more character to them than the plain ones. I do have some watercolour paper. I have thicker card, and I have good quality photocopy paper as well, which I do the Bennett Kleins on, so it's my own fault. I just ran in there quickly and turned it on, so I could have done that a lot better. So we put orange in the middle, and then red. And then I could actually put that, there's a flesh colour tone on the top, so it's not pink. I mean, I could put white, but I just can't put my hand on it. It's there now. And so we start with the lightest, I think. So I mean, you don't have to put 2 colours or 3 colours. You could put a lot more. Put more colours up there, just to give it that bit more interest. Same with this one. It's the same tonal shade, you can get away with it, rather than adding white. So this is quite light. Pushing it down into that one to give that. It's got a little bit of a highlight there. So let's see how long I've been going. So thank you for watching. It's been 40 minutes, so we could get some more flowers in there, I think. And brighter colours as well. I'm not. I quite like that one with the orange and the red. It kind of looks okay, so I'm going to put that. It does that 3 colour thing. So we'll try that. And just take off that yellow. And there's another one there. So, hi Kiki, welcome to Bunny's Designs. It isn't cheaper than my printer inkjet. I have an eco tank and I have enough for 2 years. And so I love my eco tank because the girls were doing their art projects at school and I used to say, yeah, print off hundreds of photographs, thousands of photographs, do what you like. Because I've got my eco tank. I wouldn't say it's the best printer, but it works for me. So, but I love the fact that I've got my printer ink exactly where I want it. So I think we'll have this one orange. So I've got an Epsom Eco Tank and it's the little one. And you did pay a bit more for it, but then the printer inks used to cost me £50 every month. So I got a set of printer inks and then I found the inks online and you get a bottle this size. I can't put my hands on them at the moment, but they're about this size. It's a big tank. I have it on a video somewhere. And they are amazing. And they were £10 for 2 blacks, a yellow, a red, and a blue. And it says that when you first get it, you've got 2 years ink. Now, bearing in mind, one girl was starting at uni, and the other one was doing her O-level art. And I was photocopying everything on the planet. We did really well. We got 18 months out of it. So really recommend it if you've got kids. Because there's nothing worse than they want to print something out and you go, no, sorry, no, that's it. So I really love my printer inks and my printer colours. I think that one goes there. I think we need a little bit more and a red in there. I thought I'd brighten this butterfly up a bit because the other's looking a bit drab. And then I want that blue, the indigo blue. It's quite dark. But it'll do what I want it to do. I have to reload my chat every few minutes, so apologies. So we've got a bit of a bright butterfly going on here. But when we touch that blue, it'll dull down a bit. And then we've got that bright orange. So I'll just look at chat in a second and I'll just see if I can just do this. Oh, hi Cheshire Cat. Hi Dorothy, May, anybody else popping in? Karen, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Having a spot of bother with YouTube, Ustream today. It won't read chat, so I'm pretty sure it's my internet connection. It's playing up, but it could be Ustream. No, thank you, darling. Ustream Blues. Monday Morning Blues. Ustream seems to have Monday Morning Ustream Blues. So I'm ploughing on. So I've made this little did want to keep the white around the outside, but I've lost that, but never mind. This is just a practice. And I don't normally do it with a water brush, so I knew this would be kind of really rough. Because I normally like to, but something quite nice about a water brush. But obviously, I probably will do it with a rigger and a fine watercolor effect when I do it in the actual book. I think I like the sepia bodies. I don't know if I'm going to get some sepia in there or not. To tone that one down a smidgen, because he's a bit of a big. So, so I've learned that I don't like it one colour. I kind of like this two different tones. I'm not sure about the yellow, but I do like the flesh peachy tones. And so I like those. This is a pink. So I've got a pinky tone, which I don't really like pink. I think I should have done it the peach. And the red at the bottom. And an orangey in the middle. So we can get that red going. There we go. And then automatically, oh not automatically, but it's just taking that toadstool to a different tone. And then finally the top. So it worked quite well. It worked quite well. I do like the different colours. I think I like the different colours. So I'll pan out and you can see how far I've got. Oopsie. So didn't like the mottled pink, didn't like that. I kind of like that one, and I think I like these two. Butterfly wise, the colours look washed out on there. They look better on my other thing. They look real on that. Oh, can't do that because it's infinity and beyond, isn't it? It needs something else in the background, I think. Maybe some sky and some hills. Just bear with me 2 seconds. I've lost chat now. It doesn't take me long to lose anything on here today. I did send a message. Just bear with me 2 seconds. My chat's gone whoppy. So we're coming up to 53 minutes. I've had a bit of a play. Some things I like, some people... 22 minutes, sorry. Some things I like, some things I don't like. I'm not sure if it's top heavy yet. So, but for a first attempt, it needs a bit of work doing to it. But hopefully the composition could get better. I was just having a bit of a play with colour to see if the butterflies were too big and bits and bobs. So sometimes it's quite a good idea to do that. So thank you for watching. That's my first colour page practice. Thanks for watching.